every now and then something comes along that is so unique and different and powerful that it changes the way that we see the world and how we fit in the world. And those of us who end up adopting that find ourselves personally and professionally transformed forever. We believe there's a better way of knowing yourself, what you stand for, a better way of expressing that so that in turn you attract better people, better resources, better colleagues, of course better clients and customers, thereby building a better business and a better life. And it all starts with your why. What we're going to try to do today is focus on what is this transformational power called your why, do a demonstration of how to discover it, and then shoot into where it applies. And we're going to do that in very, very rapid fashion. So, first of all, going back to your childhood, when you were a baby, an infant, and you wanted milk, what did you do?
Cry.
Right. What happened? Somebody gave you milk, and suddenly an association is formed that says crying equals success. And then you wake up in the middle of the night, and you're sad and lonely and scared, and what do? Right. And suddenly what happens?
Pick you up.
Somebody comes along, and the association is strengthened. Crying equals success. And every time that we need anything from that point forward as an infant, what do?
Cry.
Right? Who has teammates at their job, at their shop that still act like that today? Okay, just checking. And yet, we still have wants and needs, even when our parents get hit to the idea that this no longer plays and is no longer acceptable, and we have to figure out some other kind of behavior to meet those needs and feel like we get success, our needs met, and success is a feeling. Either the feeling of positive, reward, recognition, praise, or the avoidance of a negative, angst, disappointment, pain. In either case, we need that feeling of success. And when we figure out what that behavior is that gets us back to that feeling, can you see how we'll repeat that over and over? Yes? For the rest of our lives. And in that behavior, we can discover your why. Why you think the way you think, why you speak the way you speak, why you do literally everything that you do. Who here wants to know their why? Who wants to know the why of their partner, their spouse? How about your kids? Would that be good? Anybody have kids that speak in monosyllabic or one-word sentences? How you doing? Good. How's everything? Fine. What happened at school? Nothing. And then they evolved to grunting. How you doing? Really good? Right? Wouldn't it be good if you knew your kids' why? You could actually talk to them and communicate with them based on how they see the world. So what is a why? It's like your coding, your hardwiring, your programming. It's the lens through which you view the world. It's how you're compelled to behave because of that coding and that programming. It's what makes you unique, different, and special. It's your gift. And it's a lot like a natural law, like gravity. Whether I know about gravity or I don't know about gravity, it still affects me. If I open my fingers here, what is going to happen to the clicker?
It's going to fall.
It's going to fall and hit me on the head. Your why is just like that. Whether you know your why or you don't know your why, it is governing every decision that you make. And what's really cool is it is always in play because it's based in biology. Let me talk to you just a little bit about neuroscience. If you look down at the brain from above, around the perimeter you find the neocortex, or the thinking brain. The thinking brain is responsible for rational analysis, thought, justification, benefits, features, and speech. We're understanding each other right now because of the neocortex. The challenge is that the neocortex makes no decisions. Decisions are made in the limbic, or the feeling brain. Decisions are made based on a feeling and then justified in logic. When was the last time you trusted your intuition? Was that good? When was the last time you didn't trust your intuition? How did that work out? Because we make decisions based on a feeling, and then logic or thought justifies the decision for us. So, the challenge we have is, if the limbic brain is where we have our feelings, and success is a feeling, and the way that we get to our why is through understanding that feeling of success and the behavior that drove us to that, but it doesn't understand words, how are we going to express this? How are we going to figure it out? And what we're going to do is we're going to do this through stories. What I'm going to ask you to do, someone, a volunteer, is to relive that equation of milk, cry, success, or more aptly stated, want or need, behavior, success, and in the commonality in the behavior, we will discover your why. And before we do that, let's take a look at the 9 whys very, very quickly, and then we'll do a demo. So, number 1, contribute to a greater cause, make a difference, add value, have an impact. people that just naturally want to help. Number 2, to create or build relationships based in trust, people for whom trust is everything. Number 3, to make sense out of complicated or challenging things. Problem solvers, people who figure stuff out and are experts at it. Number 4, find a better way and share it. People who are always asking the question, what if, are never ever satisfied, and are constantly tweaking and improving. Number 5, to do things the right way. People who follow systems of best practices because they found that those yield the best results. Number 6, to challenge the status quo or think differently. Those that live outside the box, like Steve Jobs, Herb Keller from Southwest Airlines. Number 7, to seek mastery and understanding. People who study, love to study for the sake of even studying, knowing more information. You never know when you might need it, and they're super smart people, great resources. Number 8, to create clarity or clarify. People for whom the spoken and written word must be communicated in such a way that they know that they're understood. And lastly, people that make our lives better, the simplifiers. You see 6 steps, they see 4. They hate chaos, and they make our life, they probably created this clicker right here. Okay, so let's check this out. We'll do this as an exercise. I have a volunteer, that would be Jim. Jim, come on up. I'll give Jim a round of applause. We have a microphone somewhere around here. Let's grab that microphone real quick, and then we will do that. Your job out here is while we're going through the exercise, and Jim cannot see the list, you guys are going to be guessing as to what his why is. We'll ask you to tell us a couple of stories, and when we find the common ground between the two, in that space, we'll discover Jim's why. So, here we go. So Jim, tell us, what do you do in your business?
I run a computer technology company. We build out computer infrastructure, secure computer infrastructures, mostly for larger companies.
Perfect. Okay, so tell us about something that happened at work with another human being, a specific incident that you can recall that made you feel successful.
So I had an employee that was with me for a couple of years, somebody I brought in new to the industry, that recently left us, took a position with one of our suppliers, and I went through an exit interview with her. And one of the things that came out in that exit interview is that she felt like our company was a tremendous opportunity, probably the greatest opportunity of her career, and that it, really changed her life.
And what about finding that out that changed her life made you feel successful?
It made me feel successful that we, were able to have that kind of impact.
Why is that important to you?
I want to have an impact. I want to impact change. I want to, have an influence on the greater good or greater things out there.
Perfect. Okay, so all of you guys are hearing this. All of you guys are looking at the list. You're taking a look. What's that sound like? And we will circle back. We're hanging out around there, right? So we'll come back here in a second, see if there's some commonality in our second story. So now, if you wouldn't mind, Jim, tell us another story. It just cannot be about work. It can be about anything else, friends, family, health, relationships, a hobby you have, whatever you want, as long as it is outside the workspace, something that happened to you that made you feel successful or great with another human being.
Okay, so this past weekend, I did an Indian princess camp out with my daughters, and I think there's 2 things that stand out in that. One is that I kind of came into it, we were in 2 separate worlds. The stress of my day, and then kind of entering their world, and we came together. By the end of the weekend, it was just that there was this connection, all sitting in front of our camp chief and singing, a song together. There was that connection, but the other thing that stood out for me in that weekend was seeing them, where they're new to this group, and they, at first they just wanted to do their own thing. They wanted to go hang out with each other, play with each other, and, really spend a lot of time in the tent. And by the time we got till Sunday, they're playing cards with the other kids and engaging in a lot of activities, and seeing them that, excited and fired up and enjoying themselves really, made me feel good.
What about it made you feel good? What about seeing them doing all those things, being out there with the other kids, engaged? What about that made you feel great?
Just, having a, impact in their lives in a positive way. That made me feel great.
And why is that important to you?
I want to have an impact. I want to impact change. I want to make a difference.
Anybody doubting what his why is in this room at the moment? Is that pretty clear? Were the big stories basically identical? Yes? Same thing at work, same thing without work. Do you feel successful when you contribute to a cause that's greater than yourself, when you make a difference and have an impact for others?
Yeah.
I bet it's even tough for you to stop that. It's one of those kinds of things where you're just compelled, this is who I am, this is what I do.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'll bet you that it's even to the point where, I have a gift for you. How about this? I bet you're the kind of person that if I was to ask your wife, she would say, he's just as overextending himself. He's always overcommitting to stuff. Is that about right? He says, cracking up over here.
I don't think I would get that from her. No, I think I think there's a contrast, but I don't think we would get that from her.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's the thing about contributors that's really important to know. The challenge that contributors have is that the tendency or the desire is to want to say, yes, I want to jump in and help. Does that feel right to you? I want to make an impact. I want to make a difference, no matter what the situation. Yes?
Yeah, I think for me, it's got to be a bigger cause. And the bigger cause gets me fired up, and then I want to jump in.
Right. So the key is to the operative word here is discernment. Always make sure that you don't jump into the small cause, because it takes away that energy to have an even bigger impact than the bigger cause. Yes?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see what we can come up with in terms of a message that is all about how you bring your why to life. So let me bring this over here, break this out more or less, and we will get this done now. Switching colors, there we go. Okay, Jim, what's the name of your company?
Bird Rock Systems.
Sorry, what's it?
Bird Rock Systems.
Bird Rock Systems. Okay, great. How do you let the world know that you want to have an impact on a daily basis?
We're continually marketing out there, getting our message out, what we do.
Well, how do you let them know that you want to make a difference, so that you want to have an impact? That's just marketing. How do you let the world know? How do you live that? When you're talking to a client, you're working with your colleagues, the people that you surround yourself with, how do you let them know, hey man, we got to make a difference here, we got to do something?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things. One is we will talk about what we see as our biggest differentiator, which is our culture, and we'll talk through, the values and who we are as a company. I think we do, continue to share a message out that we make IT or technology better. That's something that we, continually talk about to customers.
What else do you do to live it? What do you do to live it? How do you bring that right to the fore when you're working with your clients, so they know, so that they can feel? When they're dealing with Jim, they're dealing with somebody who really does want to make an impact in my world. What else do you do?
I think it's just total transparency, honesty. I think we just can continually share who we are, and we don't hold anything back, really.
Okay. What else? How do you if you're having a conversation, with a new prospect, someone you haven't done any business yet, they're looking to create a relationship, to build that business together, how do you share with them that if they're dealing with Bird Rock Systems, you're going to do everything in your power to add value to them and have an impact?
I mean, we're really just going to share the, go through the values. I think I go back to that. We're going to go through that, we're always about doing the right thing. We embrace high tech. We're, loyalty, life balance. We're going to really, that's always what resonates with myself, with the team. So it's just to continually kind of talk through that.
And what's the purpose behind all these things that you do? What's the purpose? What are you seeking to accomplish through all of that?
Really impact the community, impact the tech community, make IT better.
Okay, great. So, if I say, if you're at a trade show and somebody walks up and says, Red Rock Systems, what do you do? What do you tell them?
I tell them that we build and secure IT infrastructures.
Yeah, right. So what you might say, you might consider saying something along the lines of, hi, I'm Jim Mateo at Red Rock Systems. We believe in making an impact wherever possible. We're going to get our message out. We're going to talk about our cultures, reinforce the values and who we are. We seek to make tech better at all times under the banner of total transparency. Share who we are without holding back, go through our values, do the right thing, embrace high tech all the time to impact the community in any way possible and make it a better place to live and work. If that sounds like somebody you'd like to work with, call us. Does that work for you?
Yeah, I like it. I want that clip. We need to practice it.
Well, we know who has those. Yeah, probably get you that clip. All right, man. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming up. So again, what we're talking about discovering your why is the idea of expressing not what we do, what we sell, what we offer, what we make, but what we believe, what we stand for, and how that can have an impact. So let's talk about ways in which this may have an impact. Thank you, Drew. Create a culture. Who here has people on their team that are just not down with the program yet, who are just not on board, who are not living the cause, who are not part of where you would like them to be because we lack engagement? Yes, and the numbers are pretty horrendous. If you look at them, 77% of all employees are indifferent or actively disengaged, and that can be pretty expensive because the actively disengaged ones cost you a fortune. A great deal of money, $24,500 a year according to Gallup. And yet, if you turn the tables and look at the other side of things, if you're in the upper quartile, and I think everyone in their business would think that, wait, I can at least be in the top 25%, these are the numbers the other way around, especially the bottom two. 21% increase in productivity and 22% increase in your profits. Those numbers are huge. Who here remembers the last bad hire? How painful was it? Did you hang on to them a little too long, or is that just me? And as a result, we have this problem in the U.S. 33% of the people are turning over their jobs every single year. Every single year, 1/3, 1 out of 3 gets a new position. And the challenge with that for me is that 89% of the time it's because of attitude. They're not the right fit. They're the wrong fit. They're in the wrong place. They have a bad attitude, poor attitude, no attitude. We want people with a little bit of attitude, don't we? Which for us as business owners is very, very expensive. Who here has read the book, Good to Great, in which Jim Collins talks about the idea that we want to get the right people on the bus and make sure they're in the right seat? Can we all agree that's a great strategy? Yes? Perfect. Everybody's aligned. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do. They know where they fit. They know where they're going. The bus is moving down the track. Perfect. Wait a second. How do you do that if you don't know their why? How do you know if they're in the right seat if you don't know the lens through which they view the world? Hiring around the world works like this. Oh, I have a need. So what I'll do is I'll collect a whole bunch of resumes, and I'm going to look through these resumes, and I'm going to find the few that I settle in that seem like they're okay, and then I'm going to take these people, I'm going to put them through a personality test, check out some references, assign them to a desk, put my hands together like this, look up to the heavens, and start praying. Because that's about how well a job I can do if I don't know their why, as a result of which a bad hire costs about 5 times as much as a person's annual salary. And if you've read the book Top Grading by Brad Smart, you'll find that he talks about if it's a senior executive or a C-level person, it's actually about 10 times as much, which means if you're paying somebody $100,000 and they turn out to be a bad hire, that just cost you $1 million. And that is real money. Can we all agree? We all agree we'd like to avoid that? Perfect. So, Who here remembers their last bad client? We all agree that bad clients suck. They suck the lifeblood out of your team. They suck the energy out of your office. What is the very best thing we can do for a bad client? Fire them? No! Send them to the competition. And how do we go about avoiding bad clients? Really simple. Attract ideal clients in the first place. How do you set up messaging, marketing, branding that attracts only the good ones and sends the bad ones where? To the competition. Right? Down the road to the competition. The way that we do that is by leading with what we believe, what we stand for, not what we sell, what we do, what we manufacture, what we offer the world. We have to lead with our why. That's what we have to do. And let me give you a couple of examples. Somebody wanted a service industry. Who was saying they wanted to use a service industry example of their industry? Somebody in the service industry? What service industry are you in? Anybody?
Janitorial services.
Janitorial services, excellent. Keeping the world a cleaner place. I love that. And what do you think would be a good why for a company that's in the space of keeping the world clean? Anybody? Yeah, so on the why, on the 9 whys, which one would you use? Which one would you pick? Right way, better way, makes sense, trust, greater good. Right way. Okay, we'll go with right way. It's fun. So what does most janitorial services sound something like this in their marketing? At ABC Cleaning, we handle buildings, office space, all aspects of cleanliness in your shop. We believe in showing up on time, all the time. We have a dedicated team of professionals, 25 years of experience, coverage over all of Southern California, and if you're looking for someone who's going to make sure that when you walk in, things look good, call us. Yeah? Something like that? More or less? Sounds like your website, huh? Sorry about that, bro. We can talk about that later, hook you up. If someone's why, if they were in the janitorial business and their why was the right way, what if it sounded something like this? At Pegasus, we believe in doing things the right way. We believe in dotting every I, crossing every T, and that every detail matters, and that when we show up at your office, nothing's overlooked. We pay attention to every turn, so that when you walk in the morning, you know everything was done right. If you're looking for someone who's going to go the extra mile every day, call us. How's that sound, Jeff? Does that work for you? You hire those guys? Good. Okay, good. Apparently a lot of people do, which is a good thing also. Again, we're talking about how do we lead with a feeling. Hit the limbic brain first, the decision maker. Who would like your marketing or message to talk to the decision-making part of the brain? All of us, right? Of course. So we can't lead with what we do. Same thing applies to a product. Same thing applies to a large company. It doesn't matter what company they are. I love to speak about Apple because most people are not quite aware of just how massively successful they are. Apple is worth more than Oracle, Dell, Hewlett-Packard, Microsoft, and somebody combined. It's pretty scary, isn't it? It's pretty ridiculous. And you say that people don't know the numbers of how actually Apple works. In the below $1,000 category, they don't have a fraction of the market. Nothing. They have a tiny, tiny piece in the below $1,000 category because they built such loyalty that people don't care if they pay more. And in the over $1,000 category, they dominate the market. Which category would you rather be in? Low price, high price. People don't care about the price they pay. Would you rather sell something low price, high price? Because Apple tells you what they believe. iPad 3, iPad most successful launch in history. We believe technology is at its best when it's invisible. And you're conscious only of what you're doing and not the device that you're doing it on, which means that if the thing just works, if you can pick it up and you're a doofus like me and it works, you feel great and you love a device just like that. So, wrapping up with just a few thoughts, what are we also talking about? Creating brand alignment, making sure that your customers are aligned with your brand. Do Harley Davidson riders know how much a Kawasaki costs? They don't care. People ride Southwest Airlines even though the peanuts are not any better. Even though you have to stand in line like, and move through the line, nobody cares. Because they make you feel better about the decision that you made to fly with Southwest because they're more effective than anybody else. People eat at Whole Foods, they don't care how much they pay. I know I'm one of those people. Be happy eating there every single day. It means a 20% increase in your wallet share. That means that whatever people are spending with you right now, your current clients right now would increase their spend by 20% if your brand is aligned. How do you do that? By leading with your why, and we put some numbers to that. Engagement leads to 22% increase in profits. Alignment leads to 20% increase in wallet share. At the end of the day, we're talking about increased sustainable revenues. You can't get sustainable unless you have engagement. Everybody with me? To get engagement, you got to help people discover their why and increase profits. And here's where this takes us all to one very significant space in time. Can we all agree that things are changing and that change happens faster than ever in today's world? Yes? And that if we do not keep up with change, we are left behind. If we can be the agents of change, we can surge ahead. Yes? So recently, the Pope came out and started talking about a purpose-driven economy. And I will share with you that this is permeating everything. We can no longer get away with putting out schlocky products, bad services in any way, because if you do, by the next morning, you are being crucified on Yelp. Everybody had that experience? Anybody had the experience of, if we're honest, fudging something just a little bit, or just a little white lie, or just a little bit exaggerating? How fast is that coming back to you now? Because the world is such a transparent place, and we're getting to a place of truth, where we must express what is real, what is genuine, what is authentic, or we will be discovered, found out, exposed, and everybody will know about it all over the world very, very quickly. What I believe we're reaching now is a place where the economy must be based on your why. Why are you here? Why do you put out what you put out? Why does your service matter? Why does your product make a difference? Share with me something that I can get behind, that I can feel better about, and then I want to be with you, do business with you. And I'll leave you with this thought. I believe this is a movement. If you look back in history, you'll find that people with a great idea was never an idea. There was never money that started an idea. It was always an idea that started the money. Great ideas have changed the world, whether that was Cornelius Vanderbilt with the railroad, John D. Rockefeller with oil, Carnegie with steel, J.P. Morgan who backed Thomas Edison who created electricity, Sam Walton with distribution, Bill Gates with technology, Sergey with information. We do understand that Google does run the universe, yes? We're all clear on that part? Just want to make sure we do that. And just a few years ago, they were nobody. All those things were just an idea. And yet all of those things connected people from the outside. I'm going to submit to you that I believe it's time to start connecting people from the inside. And in order to do that, you have to know your why. We picture a world where everyone knows their why, and everybody sees each other why to why.